Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. We are back. Hello world, it's your man Jeff A. Smith jumping off once again on Jumpoff Live, and welcome to episode 24. Kobe, right? And then what they say? Young kids.
Oh wow.
Tonight we'll be discussing the verdict in the Derek Chauvin trial and the rash of mass shootings sweeping across the nation here. As always, you can tune in live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on our Jumpoff Live YouTube channel, like you're doing right now. There you'll also find our past episodes, after parties, original ads, and the Anything But interview series. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell. You can also catch us on Zingo TV, channel 250, by downloading the app, which is available on the iOS and Google Play stores.
Actually, there's a third channel, 249 and 250 now.
249 and 250?
Yeah, I got to holler at Eduardo. Shout out to Eduardo.
Okay. We moving on up. I got to make sure I add that to my intro here.
Yeah, they got
Eddie Ward.
2 channels?
Actually, total 3 because the herd number is on 251.
Okay, cool. If you're on the go, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Shout out to all the fans in the chat, and please be sure to keep your comments clean so we can post them on the screen. Special shouts out and rest in peace to DMX and also Black Rob. Lost a couple of legends. Another shout out I want to give to a woman by the name of Hester Ford. She was the oldest living American, and she was a Black woman who just recently passed away at the age of 100 and either 15 or 16 because they weren't sure because of the birth records. So rest in peace to her as well, too. I'm joined here by the rest of Team Jump Off. First and foremost, we have the man, the myth, the legend, that dude named Dave. What's popping, that dude?
Hey, man, you caught me off guard. I saw 116.
Yeah.
Like, man, talk about playing with house money.
Yeah, she been playing with house money.
Man, I mean, people, we try to make it to our 60s and 70s, and when she was at 90, still ticking, and 100 ticking. When she got to the 1-teens, baby, I'm like, man, imagine doing that. It's like I know I ain't going that far.
$1.16, man.
Shout out to everybody. I ain't gonna make it to 116. I already know that.
Oh.
Don't count yourself out, man.
Yeah, I don't want to make it to 116, man. I'll be like Yoda at the last second, man, and Empire Strikes, Return of the Jedi. I don't want to be like that, man.
Hey, but look, when Yoda threw that cane down, man, and fight against Dooku, oh man. Dave said, I ain't trying to make it to 160. If I can't do what I did when I was 16, I don't want to be 160.
I want to stay in my prime long enough and then take me out, Lord.
Hey, God up there like this. This is my command.
Well, I personally want to live as long as humanly possible. So I'm gonna keep that out there. Yeah, feel good. I have my faculties, but yeah, I'm not
up, Cody?
I'm not gonna put any limitations on it. Other than that, Dave, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good, man. Shout out to all of our new fans on Boxing Now, man. We gained like about 30 subscribers in the last 2.5 weeks. So shout out to new people checking out the show. Got a lot of haters too as well. So shout out to Teofimo Lopez fans who was giving me a whole bunch of lip. Man, y'all came thirsty at the brother, But besides that, man, got a new episode dropping this week. So good stuff.
That's what's up. You causing a ruckus over there with that boxing.
Oh man, the Teofimo Lopez fans.
Cast.
Dude, they came at me. They was cursing me out. They told me to get off Bob Arams. You know what?
Yeah.
I mean, they're like, yo, you don't know what you're talking about. And like, all right, let's keep it coming.
Crazy. JD, fresh off the work shift. What's popping with you?
What's popping with me? My internet connection might be popping right now. I don't know how good it is, but we're gonna try to roll with it. But no, I'm good, man. I'm real good. It's grinding, man. It feels good to have an opportunity to grind. So many don't, man. So I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be jumping off again with the fellas. Miss this so much if I ever don't, get a chance to get on the show. But man, like I just hold it all in and not to
Hilarious.
Wow.
You were breaking up a little bit there, JD, so hopefully the connection gets stable. If you have to do a quick reset or anything like that, just let us know.
No.
Last Last but not least, we have Johnny Dangerous. What's popping, Johnny Dangerous?
Man, y'all know what's popping. We here. We live. We are back like we never left. Hey, man. Welcome to the show, everybody. Glad to have everybody tuning in, man. I think we get recharged from all the viewers, just jumping back off with us, man. Good to see the comments. Hey, make sure y'all keep them comments going throughout the entire chat, man. We're gonna be talking about some serious stuff, and we want to get that feedback from y'all. So also want to take the time out. I know Jeff shout out a couple of RIPs, man. RIP to a Vietnam veteran, a man who I see as being a pillar of the community in Harvey world, man. Shout out to Lonnie Griffin, man. Lonnie Griffin passed away, man, very shortly ago, man. He's a Vietnam veteran, man, a good husband. He was the neighborhood watch on my grandmother's block, man. I had the opportunity to meet that man when I moved back here to the shop, man, and spent a lot of time with him, man. And so he's definitely gonna be missed, man. And want to give condolences to his wife and to the family, man. Shout out Lonnie Griffin, man. Appreciate you, love you, man. Rest in peace, brother.
I want to address Charles Robinson in the chat as asking why mine and John's backgrounds are so basic. Are we in hiding? This is the same background that I use, Chuck, to book my acting gigs. It's the standard Hollywood background that we use for self-tape. So I figure if it's good enough for my self-tapes to book these gigs, it's good enough for the jump off.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Plus my personality is so magnetic. No diss to Dave and JD. I don't have to have various things in the background. It's just my face.
I feel you just low key check Charles though.
Yeah, that's like you was. That's like you was coming for him. Shots fired. Bang bang.
Good. Yeah. And Chuck,
he said isn't working. Well, I had to get straight last Wednesday. Light flex, so I think it is.
Something got to be working, right?
Light flexes are called stretches. So it's stretch.
Stretches. I like it. I dig it. I like the hat too. BLM. I see you.
Hey Chuck, man, you know
go ahead, bro.
Go ahead. You got something for Chuck?
Yeah, man. I always got something for Chuck because Chuck always got something for us. See, Chuck, I switched it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You see how it's cornered right here? I always try to stay on my square for one, but being in this corner, I kind of have my back against the wall. And every now and then you want to make sure you stay on your toes so you know how to react and govern yourself when your back is against the wall. So if you say something out of pocket this show, man, I might have to, show you how I lunge forward when my back is against the wall, man. I'll see you soon, though, Chuck. We'll talk one-on-one. SL Black J. I'll take that.
Oh, man. All right. So on to a serious note. You all know what we have to start the show off with. So yesterday was a very monumental day. So in the trial of Derek Chauvin. So Derek Chauvin, 45, was convicted of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and also second-degree manslaughter in the trial regarding the murder of George Floyd. The jurors deliberated for more than 10 hours over 2 days before coming to their decision. Now, CNN reports that Chauvin could face up to 40 years in prison for second-degree murder, up to 25 years for third-degree murder, and up to 10 years for manslaughter. Minnesota sentencing guidelines recommend about 12 and a half years in prison for each murder charge and about 4 years for the manslaughter charge. In this case, the state has asked for a tougher sentence than the recommendations provided. His sentencing is scheduled in 8 weeks. One thing that I learned recently today, too, is that those sentences are to be served concurrently, which means at the same time, which means that on the low end, he could only be serving 12 years-ish. You know what I mean? On the high end, 26 years, because they said something about 2/3 of that 40 years, on the high end. So it's all about the judge's discretion. So I want to get you guys' you fellas' thoughts on the whole thing, your feelings on the verdict, and your feelings on the aftermath of the verdict leading up into the sentencing in 8 weeks.
For me, to be honest, I barely watched the trial. I've gotten to the point now in these situations. What's the point of watching the trial? we knew what we saw from the multiple cell phone. People have their cameras out from the actually body cam, 9 minutes and 49 seconds. I don't need to watch the whole trial these last couple weeks to know what I know to see a guilty man, so I was not trying to put myself in that situation because we've seen it too many times. And what the most that we've seen was what the McDonald situation in Chicago where the cop got 6 years. And besides that, always get off or whatever it is, basically a year, 10 months. So I was like, I don't want to put myself through that anxiety, So the fact that it was guilty in all 3 charges is like a first for me. It's like, wow. But at the same time, though, I was looking at this and I know why people were ecstatic and people, were cheering and happy and applause. And at the same time, though, it's like, yo, we shouldn't be applauding, though. But we got to take these wins when we get them because we don't get no wins, So I didn't want to applaud because that should be like, okay, that's part of the justice system. Next step, sentencing. And we keep it moving. But no, we want to clap. We do these things because we don't see this crap often. We're like, wait, he's guilty? What, 9 hours? Overnight and they actually got the decision. So for me, I'm looking more at the sentencing. That matters the most because, like I said, it's not consecutive. So from all these charges here, it's only going to go to the one charge they're going to try to stick to the most. And one thing that was broke down in Minnesota is that they normally only serve 2/3 of the sentence, especially for a police officer and also for someone who never had a charge before ever. So what are we looking at? He might serve, I'm really looking at maybe 12 years and get 2/3 of that, and he's out in 8. And he's already been in jail now. So was that last year now? So he got 7 years to go. That's the way I look at it right now. So I'm trying to think the worst until I see the best right now, these little baby steps, because we put us up here and then they're going to keep knocking us down, and we know there's 2 justice systems right now. So it's a small win, but at the same time, though, I'm being temperament right now, guys.
That's what's up. Man, said a lot of good things there. Man, it's so much wrapped around this whole situation that we could talk about, but I want to say that it's starting to feel like Black lives really do matter to other than people of color. But we have a long way to go. We still have to fight to prove that Black lives do matter. And that has no bearing or no offense to any other lives not mattering. That's not the case. And it still seems like it's a struggle to get that point across that Black Lives Matter has nothing to do with other lives not mattering. It has nothing to do with that. Yet and still, Black lives are still being taken by people we expect to protect them. At the same time, I want to say that I think the most important aspect of this case to me is for George Floyd's family. I kind of feel like since George Floyd has been brought to light as far as the whole incident, that over time with all these different videos, all these different people that were talking about George Floyd, we got an opportunity to know him without knowing him. And so a lot of people I know that can relate, whether you're Black, white, or it doesn't matter, your ethnicity or race, you kind of feel like you got to know Floyd and you're really rooting for him and rooting for his justice and rooting for some type of beginning of closure for his family. I know it's been a lot of sleepless nights for his children, for all those who loved him, all those who cared for him, even those who didn't even know him. It's hard not to see his face. You see his face in your mind if you watch that video and you see what he endured for that 9 minutes and 29 seconds. His face is forever going to be staying in my memory. But it's a good thing because it's a reminder of so many different things. And it's also a reminder of the journey and the struggle ahead of us to educate our children, to educate ourselves, to try to build a relationship with the community and the police, because what a lot of people don't realize is that, we talk about defunding the police and whatnot. We still need police. We need good police, not just any police. We need good police officers that are going to police the community, that are going to protect and serve. And so, I just feel like this is going to give George Floyd's family a little bit of closure and give them some optimism to look forward to. And of course, like Jeff said earlier, we have to look forward to, and Dave, we have to look forward to see what the sentencing is going to be. And so I'm sure we'll be talking about that in the future. With that, I'll turn it back over to you guys.
Man, well said, John. Well said. I feel like the bar for justice has been lowered so much that when we get, and when I say we, I mean us as an oppressed people, as a downtrodden people, when we get quote unquote justice, we look at it as a major victory, and that in itself is sad. It's sad that it's gotten to that point. It's sad it's always been at that point, because honestly, it hasn't changed. I feel as though if this situation had been reversed, there'd be no doubt. But because of the situation being the way that it was, there was all sorts of doubt. It's sad when you see a video like that. And honestly, I haven't watched the video. I didn't need to see it. I've seen some stills. I didn't need to see it. I didn't need that to be playing. Like you said, John, like I know how I am as a person, I would be replaying in my mind constantly. I didn't need to see it. I felt it. I just from seeing the still images of it, I felt it. And just to know that justice, quote unquote, was served, doesn't really make me feel tons of joy. It just makes me feel sadness that it was even in doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Sadness that we had to hold our breaths to get something that should be expected. I'm not a person to be unoptimistic about the future, but I just feel as though we've lowered our standards so much that even when something that's so blatant, so horrific, so just inexplicable can be seen, that we had to sit and hold our breaths and just say, man, I hope that, I hope that justice is served. And the fact that we got it is something that we should be happy about, but I don't necessarily think that it should be celebrated. Another person's life is ruined, just like he ruined the life of George Floyd. And I'm happy in the sense that we don't have to worry about riots happening now because the verdict didn't go the way that it should have went. The fallout to me is always what's more troubling. It's not the actual events. It's usually the fallout, the things that happen before, the things that happen afterwards, the results. So I'm just glad that hopefully we have an opportunity as a people to say, yeah, we all saw something that was horrible and we watched the justice system work the way that it should work. I hope that it continues to work the way that it should work. Do I have faith in it? No. But I hope that it continues to work the way that it should work. As we move forward, it doesn't mean that we can't be any less vigilant, any less safe, any less hesitant when dealing with law enforcement. But we can hope that in the event that something unfathomable happens, that justice be served like it was in this situation.
So, bro.
Very, very true. Couple of points from me. So it was definitely bittersweet. From my perspective, I definitely echo you all sentiments on that. And the one thing that I thought about too when I saw this and I was able to, I did breathe a sigh of relief when they said guilty on all 3 counts. then my mind started racing like, oh, we got these other trials coming up too. We have the, the Dante Wright situation and, the Adam Toledo situation, which is still unfolding. And it's just so many trials and so many instances that this has happened recently and also in recent memory. So, isolated, there was definitely some good news. It's not going to bring George back, but I hope that his family can find some solace in it, and hopefully it is. Hopefully it'll snowball into more justice in all these other instances as well too. Um, Another point too, to what you were saying, John, about Black Lives Matter. I think that people who don't quote unquote get it don't realize when we say that, what we're really saying is Black Lives Matter too. It's always been understood and inferred and forced upon us that white lives matter because you can look at the way the system is set up. So it's one of those things where it goes without saying. But you can't make that same argument for people of color. So when we say Black Lives Matter, we're really saying it's Black Lives Matter too. We've been fighting for quote unquote equal rights for I don't know how long. You know what I mean? And it seems like every time we try to amplify the fight for equal rights, some folk try to look at it as we're trying to elevate ourselves above other people when we're really just trying to get on an even playing field. So, yeah, I don't like to hear people say, "Oh, well, all lives matter." No, we're saying we matter too. So, and you haven't shown us that we matter. That's why we're demanding and standing up, saying we do matter. So, Black Lives Matter too. Remember that, people.
One thing I want to add too, I didn't want to be the David Downer on my first comments there. When I was saying that I couldn't watch the trial, the main thing was the defense. All the things that they were saying to justify the knee on his neck and on his back did not kill him. I don't need to hear someone who is an educated college graduate lawyer trying to justify the means of this man's murder. And trying to find every excuse in the book to do that. We don't need that. That's the problem with the justice system that we do have in this here. For all the days this trial was going on and had to hear the defense here literally and try to bring out expert witnesses. So I'm really hoping that the sentencing really pushes for future incidents that can slow down. It's not going to stop. Slow down the situation that we are in today. We need something stiff here. We, like I said, these little W's here, we need something to say the justice system actually works, because it never works for us.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping for. If I see something under single digits, it's where we go from there,
Yeah, I agree. I have a question for you fellas, a follow-up question. One thing that has been a silver lining for me and everything that's gone over the last year as it relates to the civil unrest and fight for racial justice, I feel like now more than any other time in history, we have a lot more allies than we've had in the past. We've always had allies, people who've marched with us, but I feel like now we have more allies, people of other races, is what I'm saying, than we ever have had in the past. Do you all agree with that, or what do you think about that as far as the folks who are going to bat alongside us?
Say that again, Jeff.
I was saying one silver lining that I have noticed, at least in my opinion, over the last year with the racial uprising and everything that's been going on, is I feel like we have way more allies fighting alongside us than we have throughout history. And by allies, I mean people of other races who are standing up with us and marching with us. And I feel like that is helping to turn the tide, or at least change some things for the better. Do you all agree with that, or do you notice a difference as far as us having more folks marching lockstep with us?
Man,
oh yes,
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Let's give it 100 here. Us as African Americans, blacks, however you want to term us, we're only 14% of the United States. So if we got every single black man, woman, and child out of prison, it is still not enough for us to combat what's going on today. So the allies that we're seeing today, It is more than our parents saw in the past. It's more than what our grandparents see in the past. And that's what's going to have to happen for it to change. We can only do so much. Is when we see white people along with, we see about Asian hate and the Asians, Puerto Rico, everybody has to be involved because we don't have enough voices. Even we're all together unified. We need allies, plain and simple.
Absolutely.
And it's great. And it's great that we're seeing the help now because we're seeing the allies we're talking about now. They're turning against their parents. We're seeing we've seen these videos on TikTok and on Instagram, how, kids are, going against their racist parents. That's mom, dad, you're racist. That's how it changed to break the chains of what we're seeing here. The next generation saying that, no, my friends are good people. And what are you talking about, mom and dad? That's the next step.
Man, I agree. We need, man, it really don't matter what color you are. Doesn't matter your background, man. Support is support, and we need it. And I want to commend all those who are not Black, but support the cause and see the injustices that are going on, that have been going on for years and years and years and years. Man, your support, your love, your help, your voice, it matters as well. And it is highly appreciated. And any Black person that doesn't feel like other people of color joining the plight is necessary, is delusional. We need it. We appreciate it. We accept it. Most of us do anyway. And so I commend those, because it takes a certain kind of courage to not be this, but to be about this, and to stand side by side for the fight, in the fight, to take blows. I seen people bleeding out there, confronting, they're giving their blood, sweat, and tears, literally, man. So I commend it. Courage is defined not by what you say, but by what you do and what you're willing to do. And so I commend all of those courageous people of all colors that are supporting the cause. Keep it up. We need it. Bring more people. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we all one. Don't matter what color you are, whether you realize it, believe it or not. So we appreciate you and we love you for it. Keep it up.
I know. As a person, I appreciate everyone who has joined in. I also would like to give the probably the round of applause and ovation to our ally right here. This thing, right? Being able to record, being able to see and broadcast things that happen is something that our people have the opportunity to be able to pass. So
yeah, I totally agree. You're breaking up a little bit, JD, just so you know. But yeah, I totally agree.
No, what do you think about what's up with it?
What was that?
I said, I don't know what's up with it.
Oh, okay. It's all good. Yeah. So I mean, any final thoughts on that, fellas?
No, this is only the beginning.
Yeah.
I realize this is only the beginning. Even though the beginning happened a long time ago. Be ready. Expect the unexpected. Not a lot of people agree with the verdict of the trial, and not a lot of people are happy with the outcome, and not a lot of people are going to be happy when it gets sentenced. And so for every, I guess, tear of joy, there's also tears of anger. So just be ready, folks. Stay on your toes. Be smart. Be alert. Be aware. Stay on the lookout. Protect yourself, your family, and those around you. Don't be naive. Just because we won this battle, the war is not over. And just stay smart. That's all.
Stay vigilant.
Yes, sir.
Did we get that commercial loaded, that dude, or no?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool. We'll go to a commercial break and we'll be right back.
Change it up a little bit.
Hello, everyone. It's your boo, Benji, and I'm here to talk to you about my booming business, body aphrodisiacs. What most people, like yourself, don't know is that the body has the ability to stimulate the body. And that's where I come in. I teach uneducated people like you about exploring the mysteriousness of the body without going through that big Victoria and all her damn secrets, okay? What you didn't know is what I'm about to tell you. The body stimulates the body. I'ma say it again. Your own body stimulates your own body. I said that. You don't need a food or a drug or liquor to stimulate the body erotically or biologically. Benji teaches people how to tap into their own body, which will give you the strength to tap into others. I'm what Caesar Milan is to dogs, but for the body, I'm the body whisperer. I can aphrodisiac men's, women's, mimes, or anything that rhymes. Bars. Once I made the decision to put the word aphrodisiac into my hands and then speak it out of my mouth, it transformed into a vivacious bird, thus beginning the birth of my booming business, Body Aphrodisiacs by Benji, also known as BAB. I don't want to spill all the beans during this promo. So in order to learn these powerful body secrets, you must be at least 21 and you're going to have to rock with me on any and all social media platforms at Bad Body Benji Big. My credentials are all in check and I'm self-certified on so many levels. There are no higher accolades than the ones you can give yourself. So don't let anyone disqualify you, especially about exercising the power you have over your own body. And like my boo Master Do You says, I can teach you, but I have to charge. Period. You're welcome. Jump off.
Love that guy, gal, that thing.
What?
Pause.
He said pause. I've heard that in a while.
Wow.
That's a long time ago.
Yep. All right, we'll keep the show going. All right, JD, what you got for us?
Man.
Huh?
There's no extra commentary.
No.
Yeah,
I know he just cut right to it.
I know why.
No.
All the heat he been getting from quarantine Corey. He don't want no smoke with Benji.
Right.
Jeff
don't
don't
want
want no smoke with Benji.
Benji will make light work out of Jeff.
Oh yeah. Biologically and erratically.
You said biologically and erotically? Wow.
You know what? For the record, you know what? I totally wholeheartedly agree. I don't want smoke with Benji. Because I don't know where that smoke would be coming from. So I don't want no smoke with Benji. At least I can line up quarantine Corey because I know his steez. I'm gonna use an early 90s word.
Yeah.
I know his steez, but
he know that word too.
But yeah, I don't want nothing from Benji. Benji got it.
hey, Corey cooking something up. Quarantine Corey cooking something up in the lab just to let you know, man. So,
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I'm sure he's cooking it up on a hot plate too.
Damn.
Podcast beef.
No stove.
Hot plate. Single burner.
You know he's doing good, man. He about
cold.
You know the store is doing great. They have multiple stores in all alleys across the world. And I actually heard that he might possibly become publicly traded on the NYSE.
Oh wow! I better check him out on Robinhood.
Yeah, he be the only one left that Robinhood can even trade on theirs.
I get to trade with that along with my Dogecoin, huh?
Yeah.
You said that he's going to be publicly traded.
There's rumors.
Rumors. Who started these rumors, John?
Publicly traded.
His business is doing so good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we must not confuse doing good with doing well.
Yeah, his
Ooh, man.
Wow. Doing good with doing well.
We must not confuse that.
They had an article. He was rated in the top 100 of Snorbs magazine. Snorbs, yeah, that's like a sister company of Forbes. Snorbs magazine, yeah.
Is that the hood version?
Yeah,
I can get that on 79th.
You familiar with it?
Okay.
That's it, man.
Right. Is it next? I get next door to the movie theater that just shut down.
Yeah.
Off of Dan Ryan. Okay, I know that one.
And
they sell it. They sell it with Final Calls.
The Final Calls there too. Along with Streetwise.
Streetwise.
Oh man, like I said, in this climate, I'm not beefing with another black man. So I wish him all the best, man. And he can cook up whatever he wants to cook up. That's all good. Yeah. So yeah, we'll keep it moving.
He gonna air fry that.
Yeah.
Air fry. Oh yeah, get the ninja out.
He gonna air fry that. I'm telling you, he got something for you, Jeff.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does.
Turn Jeff back into a meat eater.
He gonna force feed you some meat, Jeff.
Hey, like, come on now.
Check out this swine.
You gonna make me go there, man. Don't do that. Y'all gaslighting me. Don't do that, man.
Check out this swine, my brother.
You gonna make me say something.
Say it.
That I don't want to say right now.
Say it.
Oh man.
You gonna make me say something, man. JD has our Block B story. Can we get to the Block B story?
Man, how's my internet doing? Mic
good
check
so
1 2 1 2.
Yeah,
you good, bro.
Say what you got to say fast.
All right, I'm gonna try to run through this quick. So, 3.5 months into 2021, mass shootings in the U.S. have increased nearly 73 from the over the last year. Am I good? I'm going by Jeff's reactions right now if my internet is okay.
I'm reading the chat and looking at you at the same time.
Okay.
So you it broke up a little bit.
Okay. I'm just gonna try to run through it. Y'all get the gist of what I'm saying anyway. But there have been 147 mass shootings in the U.S. since New Year's Day, compared to 85 such incidents last year between January 1st and April 16th. A mass shooting is defined in the database as an incident where 4 or more people were shot, not including the shooter. Mass shootings in 2021 also have been deadlier than last year. According to Archive, 176 have been killed so far this year compared to the same period in 2020. This is contagious. Dr. Gary Slutkin, former head of the World Health Organization Intervention Development Unit, told Insider, which is where I got this article from. In the recent weeks, it has been interrupted by breaking news. Article goes on to list a few things that have happened over the last few months. It says we historically strong copycat with high mass shooting. And so when there's one in the news, a number of copycat events, blah, 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 more, bad. So basically, my question to you guys is this. If we, what can be, is there any way that this can be helped? No, I don't know. I don't know how to solve this epidemic. Is getting rid of assault rifles important? Should there be stricter gun rights? Should we? I mean, how do we continue to hold people accountable? How do we stop copycat crime? Bunch of questions, and I was hoping that you give me all the answers.
Hey JD, I know it's just a little choppy there. I think we got the gist of that as far as like the mass shootings, and you was asking the question, what can be done? Or are you asking if there's anything that can be done? Is that correct, JD? Okay, so we're in a symptom that we've been locked down, fellas, if you agree with me, for the last year plus. Some people followed the rules. Some people didn't follow the rules. We know a lot of people were locked down. People lost their jobs. We're looking at the increased influx of people buying guns. We know what happened with the election. It is just one big old gumbo pot of, you know what? People just don't give a you know what. And we've been seeing mass shootings for a long time. And now that pot of gumbo is just opened up now. And we're seeing the whole ingredients remnants coming out here. And hey, mental health is at an all-time high right now. People losing their minds, their jobs. This world is in a place we haven't seen before for this current generation. I don't see how it's going to change. Guns are being flooded into the streets every day. We have more gun sales that happen all the time. We have more sick people in this all the time. So when you have that perfect combination, I'm not making it that simple, but when you have laws where anybody can buy a gun same day, and you got sick people getting more sick every day, this is what we're getting here right now, man. People are just sick and losing it. So I don't know. I mean, you know, like to see what we're seeing right now, like you're kind of worried to even go to the store right now. You gotta look for the exits when you do go in, you know, you're looking over your shoulder. So I don't know if you guys feel the same way as me, but I find myself now, even being double vaccinated now, that I think twice about going somewhere. You know, if I say, no, I'll wait till tomorrow. It's not that serious.
Yeah, I mean, you all know me. I'm always trying to find a silver lining in certain things, and I'm hard pressed to find one in this. I just try to be more vigilant and diligent, and be on the defensive, and be proactive as much as I can. Just trying to keep myself and my family safe. It's so I think the issue has many different layers and levels to it. So it's not just gun control. It's not just mental health. It's like everything and you know what I mean? So and the question is, where do we begin? And that's such a tough thing. People are always in these chat rooms or saying certain things online, and a lot of stuff doesn't even get to fruition. Nothing happens of it. But then you have some folks who had some signs that they were going to do something. They eventually, get to that point. So, people having free will, and the government, the police, whoever you want to be, the powers that be, not being able to keep tabs on every single person, every single day, it almost seems like it's something that I'm not going to call it a lost cause, but I really don't know what the remedy would be for it at this point in time in our country.
Yeah, man, there is no instant remedy for it. And like you said, it's layered. There's so many different elements involved to the equation of, gun control and the right people having the right to bear arms. It's in our Constitution to be able to bear arms. It's very, very tough because with some people that have committed these mass shootings, there has been a track record of or history of their mental illness or signs of them not really being stable, and probably shouldn't even have a gun in their possession. There's been some people where you can see that heresy when they go back and look, like this last guy that did the mass shooting, but also at the same time, you have people that don't have any record of any violence or criminal history. And then all of a sudden they go to a facility with their assault rifle and they kill people. How do you predict that? You can't. People are the most unpredictable being on this planet. You don't know what's going on the inside of someone's mind. You don't know what they're dealing with unless they express it to you. The closest people that could give a heads up on or see the signs of these different things are the people that are closest to these people, their family members, their friends. And quite often, a lot of times they're so focused on their well-being, they don't think to sound the alarm and say, you know what? I heard Ricky saying some wild things. He's really into this video game, and he said if he ever had the opportunity, he would act out everything that he does in the video game. You don't get many people that pick up the phone and call the police or call the FBI on someone that they're close to, because for one, because of their loyalty and their love to that person, and at the same time, they don't want to be wrong. You know, if I call the cops on so and so, and that's not even the case, you know, how's that going to affect our relationship? You know, it's kind of hard to get a mother or a father to call the authorities on their child. You know, being that a mother or father are the first lines of defense for their child. They want to protect their children, you know, or even as an adult, you know, you don't want to rat out or snitch on your child, so to speak. So there's so much conflicting things that goes on with that, you know. And then also when you look at politicians looking to clamp down on the laws as far as who has the right to bear arms and background checks and whatnot, I think they do need to increase the background checks. But there's a lot of rhetoric about taking away firearms from people who are sane, who are law abiding. You know, criminals are always going to have access to these things. So why take guns away from people who are not criminals that need to protect themselves from criminals? So there's so many different elements involved and so many different arguments about the whole thing. There is no obvious solution, because if there was an obvious solution, it would have already been implemented by all these brilliant people who have all this money, who come together as a committee and vote on these different things. You know, it would have been solved already. And so I think it's going to take a serious effort collectively of many of people to come up with some different things that will help to prevent these things. In the world that we live in, it's not going to be perfect. It's not perfect, but we can do things to increase the prevention and awareness of these things. So facilities, schools, movie theaters, all these locations where mass shootings can occur, there are security measures in place to protect people against these things, these elements when they do happen. I think that's probably the biggest thing and the most immediate thing that we can do is beef up security, prevention, and awareness and education when it comes to mass shootings and how to deal with it.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many people that are just almost clout chasing with these things too.
Yeah.
Opportunity. There's more of an opportunity now to gain popularity or fame, even if it's for just minutes or even after you're dead and gone, by doing something like this that so many people are trying to capitalize on.
Yeah.
It's a multi-layered problem that is going to take a multi-layered answer. And I think that everybody gets overwhelmed trying to figure out the one answer. We need to take incremental steps to get there. And you know, that comes with figuring out who should be allowed to have these weapons. You know, what type of background checks need to should there be a quarantine period longer than 72 hours, and that's on the high end for gaining a firearm license. There's a whole lot of things that need to be done. In the meantime, like everybody said, all we can do is stay vigilant and try to be aware of our surroundings and not get caught, not to be funny, but not get caught slipping. Like there's so many people, there's so many opportunities for this to happen. I have a lot of fears that all it would take is a small group of people. And when I say small, I mean a group, 5 people could shut this entire country down if they wanted to. And it just shows how open our country is, and those things that everybody has fought for, those freedoms that we've all fought for. This is the other side of the coin. Everybody, people fought to live in this free country. This is the other side of it.
Man, no doubt. Definitely, bro.
Mm-hmm. I like to add a point here really fast. This is like a macro, synopsis I was thinking about before. Our defense budget is bigger than what the next 7 countries combined.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not just tanks getting made and the aircraft carriers and then the big jets and helicopters and bombers and submarines. We're talking about all kinds of guns, all levels that are fled the streets. And what am I getting at here is a macro level that this budget that we spend more than 7 countries combined, and we don't even use none of this military equipment that is being stored in bunkers and bunkers and bunkers and bunkers across the world in our areas, whether in the country or our allies, just spreading all around, which opens up the black market, which we talk about how the guns get into the hood. So when we talk about how this is going to stop, how is it going to stop when that budget is going up 10 to 15% every year and is not stopping, and we're not even using it? We're just making projects, burning money, and then stashing it somewhere and getting them jobs and just keeping it rolling. So how do we stop it when we're just mass producing it and not even using it? And then the black market comes in. You know, I know I'm being macro on that, but that's one symptom of what's actually happening here when you just got constant spending of equipment and guns. That's not going to stop. And when it's not going to be used, someone's going to find a way to get their hands on them.
True.
Yeah, I read an article that even Biden hasn't been able to really slow down the defense spending. That's still been.
That's part of the game.
Yeah, I have a question for you, John, from a military perspective, and you don't have to be too long-winded. But what do you think is the reason why our military budget is always so beefed up and we do so much spending in that area? Do you think that we want to have the most artillery possible just in case that, World War III were to happen? We want to be as prepared as possible and not get caught slipping? Or do you think there's other interests, from a financial standpoint, these companies or whatever the case may be, that's really pushing this?
Yeah, good question, bro. I think in a nutshell, no disrespect to the United States government, but the U.S. government has the biggest ego out of anybody in the world, out of any country. And we want to be the biggest, baddest, scariest, where no other country would even think or dare mess with us, which is a good thing in a way, but at the same time, it's kind of boastful and braggadocious in a way. But at the same time, we do provide a lot of aid to a lot of foreign countries, and there's a big necessity for it. But at the same time, like Dave was saying, there's a lot of funding, so much funding that goes into that we probably could spread that out a little bit in some other areas. For example, domestic terrorism and mass shootings. We could spend some of that money towards educating, and infrastructuring locations. That way we have better security measures in place and prevention towards that sort of thing. So I think in a nutshell, though, America, we've always prided ourselves on being the number one superpower in the world, and that takes a lot to do in order to keep that title up, So yeah, I'm sure JR could probably say wants to say some things, but maybe sometime in the future.
Yeah, when he's back on co-hosting.
Yeah.
All right, we got a few minutes left here. Is there anything you fellas want to talk about? Anything on your mind you want to discuss?
He said,
You caught me off guard.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to say, folks, like we were talking last year, 2020 was a rough year. We talked about that going into the new year. Yeah. And I also mentioned that 2021, we got some challenges ahead. There's some things that we haven't thought about, some things that we haven't seen. And these things are unfolding. Not saying that I know everything, but the worst is yet to come. But don't live in fear. Don't live in fear, folks. Prayer, meditation, whatever grounds you, stay grounded. Be smart, be focused, protect your bubble, and live life to the fullest, but don't live in fear, because there are tougher days ahead of us. And just knowing that you can prepare yourself as best as you can without having worry and fear in your heart, And I just want everybody to know too, man, my family and I are always praying for each and every one of you every single day. We love you. We care for you. We appreciate you, man. If you need help, whether it's mental, you got different things going on, man, reach out to somebody. There's a lot of people out there that are willing to help, man. But if you don't say something, people don't know nothing. And so Jumpoff Live has your back, man. We appreciate y'all. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, that's very true. I think a lot of people are isolated, and even now more than ever. And I think that isolation causes a lot of this lashing out in a variety of ways. So Yeah, we got to get back to interaction, man. Positive, fruitful human interaction. I think that combats a lot of stuff too. When you know that there's somebody that you can lean on and somebody that cares about you, that's really important.
No doubt.
I also think, real quick before my internet goes out, I think it's important to for now. I think it's important to
drop 50 cents.
Right. I think it's important to embrace the grind and the hustle and the bustle of life, man. I think a lot of times we get so caught up dreading everything about what goes on in our life, man. And you gotta take a time to sit back, be thankful, and embrace the grind too. That's one thing that I'm trying to teach myself how to do, because in the past I had been quick to be in a negative mindset when it came to grinding at a job, or grinding at home and just making sure you had to get this and this done. But you should just be, not to be too preachy, but I'm trying to teach myself to be more thankful for these that I do have. And I think that when you are thankful for the opportunities that you have, more opportunities come away. I embrace that aspect and that thought pattern there.
Please deposit 25 cents.
Yeah, can I?
If you'd like to hear more of JB, press 1.
Hey, a reminder.
Y'all catch that?
A reminder from JR. Make sure you please hit that like button on the episode, and also, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the Jumpoff Live YouTube channel and tell a friend to tell a friend, so we can keep spreading the love and keep amplifying our platform, because we're very proud of what we have going on, and we're nothing without you all, the listeners. So yeah, any final words, fellas, before we go ahead and get on up out of here?
Big shout out to all our regulars.
Please deposit 50 cents.
Freeze.
Caught me again.
Big shout out to all the regular viewers. I believe that's what he said. Most definitely. Final thoughts, that dude and Johnny Dangerous.
Oh man, you know what? I was watching
AOL dollar.
I was watching the Thriller pay-per-view. Shout out to Jaleel White with his new purple Urkel. He's embracing his Steve Urkel, and so he about to get
got a strain, man.
Yeah, he got that purple Urkel. So I'm kind of curious how this is gonna be.
Yeah.
Shout out to Urkel and Thriller.
Did I do that?
Did I smoke that? Oh man, hilarious. All right. Well, I thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Jump Off Live. We'll see you next week. Peace and love.
We gone.